By 1991, Vanilla Ice was arguably the most famous rapper in the world, and Cool as Ice was supposed to be the vehicle that made him a movie star as well. It didn't, but we didn't care. If you were a kid in the 90s, Vanilla Ice was just the absolute coolest. Like in 1991, Vanilla Ice was the pinnacle that white Midwestern Catholic school kids could hope to achieve. His life was the ultimate goal because we literally didn't know any better. I'm gonna be like Vanilla Ice, we'd say, without even a hint of irony. One kid would later claim that Snow was a better rapper overall, and we laughed at him. What fools we were. Cool as Ice starts with Vanilla Ice and Naomi Campbell for some reason doing a concert together. It's weird because Naomi Campbell is only in this movie for this song, and you can tell this movie is low budget because they even kept the tag on Vanilla Ice's hat so that they could return it, but according to IMDb's trivia page, Vanilla Ice became incensed when Gadzooks would only give him store credit. The entire opening credit sequence is a 6-minute original Vanilla Ice song called Cool as Ice. That is far too long for an opening credit sequence, but it's especially too long for a Vanilla Ice movie where he's singing any song that isn't Ice Ice Baby or Ninja Rap. And speaking of Ninja Rap, Cool as Ice came out just 7 months after his iconic cameo in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2's Secret of the Ooze. Like if Cool as Ice had actually been good, Vanilla Ice would have been unstoppable. But as it was, Vanilla Ice only got to enjoy his movie career for 7 months. So sad. And so Cool as Ice was a critical and financial failure, and there was also a bee on the set which was just creating havoc left and right. Hey yo, someone get this bee off me, yo! Oh dear God, Ice, don't swat at it, you're just gonna anger it.
I'm not sleepy, dopey, or grumpy, but you be falling just like Humpty did.
Dude, you gotta end it on the rhyme.
I know what I have
You
to
had
do.
it at
I
Ben.
know, I got it.
Yeah, you got the idea.
We do get the idea, but there are still 2 minutes left in this opening credit sequence. Okay, that took forever. I think this is why people usually put the original song for the movie during the end credits. And I gotta tell you, I have listened to that song several times over this past week, and it does not grow on you at all. Vanilla Ice plays rapper Johnny Van Owen, and he and his crew celebrate a successful concert by riding all night to destinations unknown. When the next morning they see Kathy Winslow riding a horse, and through the magic of editing, Johnny goes from riding on a completely flat surface to launching his crotch rocket over a 4-foot tall fence and almost killing this poor woman when her horse understandably gets spooked. She's rightfully pissed, and we get the worst meet cute in movie history.
Yeah, you hit pretty good for a girl.
Aw, would I hurt you?
That's all right, I'll live.
If she would have died, you could have been charged with involuntary manslaughter. So maybe take your hip, chill attitude and sit on that a spell, you dig?
Yep, she likes me.
I've accidentally bumped into women at the grocery store with my cart, and I knew right away that, yep, that woman hates my fucking guts. During their 12-hour bike tour of this nondescript town, Jazz's bike breaks down, and these inconsiderate jackwagons just all stop on the middle of the road, causing a traffic jam. And this dude has had enough.
Man, you gotta add
So like, did this guy recognize Johnny and then get scared because he had a run-in with him before? Or is this man afraid of a stranger wearing all neon with a brick pattern shade into his head? Both reasons are extremely silly. And they then drive past an unusual house and stop to gawk.
Yo, man, check out this crazy black house.
Now, Johnny and his crew are basically traveling minstrels who crisscross the United States putting on rap shows, so their interest in this house seems odd. Is this really the craziest thing you've ever seen on the road? So the owners of this house are May and Roscoe, and they say they can fix the bike, and everyone just kinda hangs out in this weird Pee-wee's Playhouse looking house. And the crew passes the time by making a gross-ass sandwich, eating about 10 hard-boiled eggs, dealing gags from the movie Top Secret, and oh dear God, the bee is back. Hey, yo, I think this might be a paper wasp or something, yo. It just keeps stinging me. Oh, God, go jump in the pond, Vanilla. I think it's attracted to my colorful outfit, yo. As luck would have it, Kathy lives just down the street and arrives with her boyfriend, Nick, and, oh, God, here we go.
Drop that zero and get with the hero.
And you know, that is way better than my catchphrase. You drop the zero and get with the guy who has a pretty sweet Pog collection. But I don't have any of those metal slammers because that would be cheating, girl.
If you need me, I'll be right over there.
I'm like May and Roscoe's son now or something. I don't really know how bike repair shops work around here, yo. Johnny goes back to his crew and he tells them that he ran into the woman with the horse and he stole her little black book organizer. And for all the kids out there that don't know, a person's little black book was an organizer that would generally have all of their contacts and important information in it. And it was the most important plot device for every movie up until about 2002. It's basically the equivalent of stealing Kathy's iPhone. Johnny kinda sucks. Is someone supposed to be on drugs in this scene? For the record, I am not speeding this up at all. It is just like this. I don't know who this movie is for.
Okay. So I'll pick you up tonight about, what, 8 o'clock?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Also, Kathy's brother Tommy is clearly playing Super Mario Bros. 3, and man, I would rather be watching someone play that than whatever this is. Kathy is featured on the news for being a 4.0 honor student.
Perfectly normal for adolescents to hate their parents, but I don't.
And it must be a slow news day because everyone in town seems to be watching this hard-hitting news story about a good student that likes her parents. They even have it on in a bar, and they interview her father Gordon Winslow, who is acting very weird. Like I'm the same way, I never know what to do with my hands when I'm on camera. And we learn the two cops, Clark and Morrissey, recognize him, and they go looking for Gordon.
French fries.
Again, I am not adding those sound effects. That is a choice the director made. I had nothing to do with it. And I mean, that sound effect for the bad guy would make sense if this was a movie that starred a talking dog or a baby on his day out. So the bike repair is taking longer than expected, and Roscoe tells him that he could probably have it ready in 24 hours, and everyone settles in because, yes, I 100% believe that they live there now.
You know you're welcome to stay as long as you want.
Where's my bike at?
That's his bike?
And this movie has a hard time figuring out what it's trying to be. Sometimes it's a romantic comedy, other times it's a screwball comedy, sometimes it teeters on after-school special schmaltz, and the rest of the time it's a freaking cartoon. So Johnny decides to go over to see Kathy. What a terrible way to knock on the door. If that was my house, I'd probably look up and say, "Did you hear something?" and then go back to my puzzle. Kathy's mom opens the door, and Johnny doesn't even try to be not so Johnny.
Yeah, I'm looking for Kat.
We don't have a cat.
Kathy, your daughter?
And like, I get the whole point of this movie is to not judge a book by its cover, but I wouldn't even care that he's wearing clothes that he made himself out of old Halloween costumes. But the fact that he pounded once on the door and was vaguely rude to me would definitely have me put my guard up. So Kathy's mom is not impressed with Johnny, but Kathy's 10-year-old brother Tommy looks at him as though he were a god. Which makes sense, because Tommy is probably the maximum age that anyone can be impressed by Vanilla Ice. And they tell him that Kathy's at the Sugar Shack with her boyfriend. Morrissey and Clark show up at the Winslow house, and we learn that Gordon Winslow used to be named Jim, and they say that Jim owes them $500,000, and they give him 24 hours to gather the money. So Kathy and her friends go to the Sugar Shack, which is a bar of some kind and not a chocolate malt stand like the name would imply, and Nick brings his own booze into the bar. What a dirtbag. And wait, everyone seems to be drinking Coke. Is this not a bar? Is this just some youth center populated solely by every nerd character from Saved by the Bell? So the Sugar Shack is portrayed as the lamest, fully packed club in town until Johnny and his friends decide to entertain the crowd.
I'm gonna drop some funky lyrics.
Oh dear God, I'm having flashbacks to my 4th grade talent show. Johnny pulls Kathy onto the dance floor and proceeds to dry hump her, and she is inexplicably loving it. The only 2 interactions she has had with this man are when he tried to murder her on her horse, and then stole her organizer, which he has not yet given back. And she playfully gives him 24 hours to return the organizer, or she's gonna go to the police. So apparently in this universe, any action or event must take place 24 hours from now. So the next morning, Kathy gets woken up by Johnny being sexy? Like, is this supposed to be sensual? Because all I can think is that Johnny is the kind of person who doesn't wash his hands. Tommy then comes into the room and he's still just beyond excited to see Johnny. I mean, he is probably the closest thing to a real cartoon character that Tommy has ever met.
Is that your bike up front?
Yeah, you ever been on one? You will.
Vanilla Ice's line reading here is so weird and sad. It's like his character is from the future and knows that Tommy is going to die in a motorcycle accident, but his time travel protocol prevents him from stopping it. Kathy leaves with Johnny on his bike, and he takes her to the most romantic spot he can think of, right next to this porta potty. They then proceed to run around and play in a construction site, which, as a kid, was the most fun you could ever have. Like, I remember when they were building the subdivision behind my house, and I made it my mission to pee inside every home that was being built. And then a couple years later, whenever my neighbor Scott was being weird, I'd always just chuckle silently and be like, "You're sitting in my old pee." So after a weird date, Johnny drops her off at her house, and her father is angry because he thinks that Johnny is working with the cops that are threatening him. And Gordon tells Kathy that his name is actually James Hackett, and he used to be a cop, and he's been in witness protection for 20 years after testifying against his partner. For the record, neither Clark nor Morrissey were his partner. And Kathy tells Johnny that she can't see him anymore, and he rides off right into the middle of a damn music video. And cut! Oh man, Ice, that shot is gonna look great. Ice, can you stop for a minute? You are kicking up a lot of dust, buddy. Johnny heads back to the house that they are still residing in, and are they trying to establish squatters' rights? And Tommy comes over to ask Johnny for a ride on his bike.
I thought maybe we could go for a ride.
Yeah, I guess there's no delaying it. It is as the prophecy has foretold, yo. Let's go, little man. Time for your final ride to the other side. What? Nothing, little man. Nothing, yo. So Johnny takes Tommy for a ride through the town, while May and Roscoe continue to work on the bike, and it is shocking how little has actually happened in this movie. Johnny drops off Tommy and then breaks into Kathy's house to return a ring. Did she give him that ring? Did I miss that? I missed a lot. I was catching up on laundry when I was watching this, so I don't remember any ring exchange. Oh man, now Tommy's playing Tecmo Bowl? Honestly, I would rather just watch this kid's Let's Play videos for an hour and a half. Clark and Morrissey break into the house and kidnap Tommy, and Kathy and her parents come home and they all very slowly realize that Tommy was kidnapped. And in a sitcom level of misunderstanding, Johnny goes to say goodbye and he picks up Tommy's ransom note off the porch and hands it to Gordon and storms off. And I think the same thing happened on an episode of Growing Pains when Boner was implicated in the kidnapping of Luke Brower because he inadvertently loaned his van to the real kidnappers. And then at the end, they found Luke's lifeless body down the river. Classic Boners to Bone. The envelope has a recording of Tommy saying that they have 24 hours to get the money. And this is after the initial 24-hour deadline has come and gone. You can't break the 24-hour rule in this town. And Kat runs to May and Roscoe's house to play Johnny the tape. And Johnny does his best Whistler from Sneakers impression and picks up a single background noise on the tape and knows exactly where they are. And realizes that they're holding Tommy at the construction site. And since they wasted so much time on the opening sequence and the ins and outs of comedic bike repair, they only have about 10 minutes to rush through the ending. I'm only going to give it as much attention as the filmmakers did. So they bust through the walls of the hideout and knock out the cops. Again, I did not add the bird sound effect. This is just a weird movie. And Johnny and the crew head back to the house with Tommy and the crooked cops. So Gordon thanks Johnny for saving his son, even though they should still suspect Johnny of being involved. I mean, everything he's done looks suspicious as hell. This is just what the low man on the totem pole does when the jig is up. You say, oh, but he caught the bad guys. No, it looks like he's just trying to tie up loose ends. And then he'll walk away like Kaiser Sose, wearing parachute pants. And then Johnny and Kat ride off into the night together, and we are treated to another original song by the Iceman. And oh dear God, the bee is back. Yo, there are 2 bees on me this time, and I think they're trying to have sex on me, yo. Ice, you have to remain calm, buddy. Hey, yo, I think the male bee thinks I'm a threat, yo. Trust me, Ice, they don't even care that you're there. Hey, yo, if this bee finishes on my jacket, I'ma straight up murder him, yo. Ice, after the bee deposits its sperm, it's most likely gonna die. Hey, yo, for real, bees die after having sex? Hey, yo, that's crazy. So that was Cool as Ice. And you know who else is as cool as ice? The fine supporters over on Patreon. That's what we refer to in the biz as a segue. Vanilla Ice, give us some of that sweet segue music.